Plaintiff Greg Kelly says the defendant is his niece and his mother raised her. Greg claims the defendant hangs with a bad crowd, smokes pot, and dropped out of high school, and he's suing her today for an unpaid loan. Defendant Ariana Sterling says she had a good relationship with Greg, but now they argue all the time. Ariana claims she is enrolled in online school and intends to get her high school diploma. And she insists she was a minor when Greg gave her money.
Start with you.
Well, I'm a really great uncle. I'm the uncle everybody in my family goes to for rides and to borrow money. And my niece is my sister's daughter. My mother took over custody of my niece and her two little ones when she was about 16 years old. I try to help out my niece. I let her money.
You all ever live in the same household together?
Yes.
You and your niece?
Yes.
How many years?
For about 4 or 5.
Okay, how was it? What type of young lady was she?
Well, she's like any teenager. You know, she has her moments of rebellion where she thinks she's knows everything that she needs to know about the
Nothing
world.
beyond the average teenage challenges? Nothing extreme?
You know, she hangs out with a not so great group of people. She, smokes weed and...
How are her grades?
She dropped out of school.
Okay, well, that says it all.
So, she's an individual who, is sorry for when things happen, but doesn't take responsibility.
What all have you been doing for her?
I've helped her with rides. I've helped her with money. I've tried to encourage her to get, jobs in different places, and I've offered her advice in certain areas.
Give her money how often?
I don't know, once every couple of weeks.
Every couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Since she dropped out of school?
Not so. I wouldn't say like clockwork every couple of weeks, but $20 here and there. Maybe once every 2 months, probably. If it was.
You still live with your parent?
Yes.
Defendant Ariana Sterling is being sued by her uncle, who claims Ariana smokes marijuana and dropped out of school.
Hear from you, young lady. Tell me about yourself.
I live with my grandmother. I have a good relationship with my uncle for the most part. When I was 14, my grandma took me in as a good woman that she is.
Why'd you let your grandmother down? Sound like you love her.
I do. I love her.
Why'd you let her down?
Because I was through a lot of stress and I was depressed for a long time.
You didn't ask for help?
I did ask for help.
From who?
My grandmother, my uncle.
Did anybody help you?
No, I'm stubborn and try to figure things out on my own.
Okay, that's what I mean. You let them down.
Yeah.
Because you knew you needed help, and you say you asked, but I didn't hear you say what they said.
Right. Yes, and me and my uncle argue all the time now. We've been out arguing.
So you're no longer depressed?
No, sir.
Okay, so why haven't you gotten your high school diploma then?
I am trying to work on it at the moment.
What does that mean, trying to work on it?
I do online schooling on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a couple credits I had to make up, so they told me.
And how old are you?
I'm 19.
And so you dropped out at what age?
18.
All right. And she said she needed help, and did you know of that? Did she?
Well, once again, she's, anytime that we try to talk to her or say, hey, maybe this crowd of people that you're hanging out with isn't such a good idea.
No, counseling. That sounds like when the person tells you they're depressed and they're not doing well and they don't like their life, they need counseling. When they don't have any direction, they need counseling. She says because of all the things that was happening to her that she dropped out of high school.
I'm just uncle. I don't have the custody to.
Okay, well, she mentioned you.
Right.
She put you in it.
No, I understand.
I said, you ever tell your grandmother and your uncle?
Right.
She said they knew.
I've sat down, I've talked to her, I tried to give her advice and steer her in the right direction. And
did you advise your mother to seek counseling for her?
I told my mother that, that I, felt maybe she needed some help or needed to go. But she actually, we thought that it would be best that she went and lived with her father for a little while. So she moved down to Tennessee and in Nashville for a year.
That was after dropping out?
That was after dropping out. And, she came back because it just wasn't working out. And she recently just came back a couple months ago. So
All right. Well, let me ask you to encourage her to go for counseling. All right.
I will.
All right. Please do.
I understand. That's why I try to be, someone in her corner.
Yeah. And I hear that. I hear you wanting to be helpful. I hear you've helped her with money. Yes, ma'am.
It's kind of hard for somebody to be in your corner when they're being rude and disrespectful towards you for the most part.
He ain't too rude, though. We'll find out how rude he is on this 3,300. All right. Tell me how she owed you 3,300. We're gonna see how really rude you were.
Well, so I was letting Ariana's working, and I was letting her use my car. She go see her friends and stuff, and she bring my car back late, and I was late for my job a couple of times, and just the arrangement just really wasn't working out for me. She hit a deer with my car, and she just kind of came in the house and was like, I hit a deer with the car. And, really wasn't apologetic about it. It was just kind of like, hey, it happens. It's where we live, I guess. So I said, hey, you know what? I'll help you with the car, but you got to pay me back. I had some money put away for a rainy day. So I said, hey, I'll help you out. And I said, give me back $200 a month and I'll help you get a car. Sometime later, she was driving down the highway and I saw her car side of the highway. And I called her, and she said the car had broken down. She brought it to a mechanic friend of ours. He said that the car had no oil on it, and it overheated the engine, and a rod went through it, and she basically blew up the engine. And then she sold the car to scrap for $500. Didn't get any money for it.
Okay. Let's hear from you, young lady.
Well, he loaned me the $3,300. He kind of forced me to get the car. He was the one go with me to choose the car.
Who asked? Who suggested getting the car?
He did.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
So,
what was your response? Because when the person forces you, you definitely resist at first.
Yes.
So, what was your when he said, "I'm gonna get you a car"? What did you say?
I was like, okay, we went and looked with the car.
Hold on, you said okay.
Yeah, I said okay.
Well, hold on, that doesn't sound like you're being forced.
Well, I said no. I'm not saying I wasn't saying he forced me. I let him give me the money. I was saying he
That's
forced.
exactly what you said.
Yes, sir. But I was saying he forced me to get the car that we looked at. He didn't let me look at multiple
The particular car.
Yes, correct.
All right.
So we looked at the car that he told me to get.
Mm-hmm.
He's a man, so I took his advice.
No,
for
you're
it.
right. Your uncle, older, experienced. You're right. You
Correct.
did.
So within a couple months of me having it, the first month I had it, it started, making funny sounds. Just wasn't reliable as I thought it would. And then the third month of me having it, it quit on me completely on the freeway.
Defendant Ariana Sterling is being sued by her uncle, who claims Ariana smokes marijuana and dropped out of school.
Why didn't you pay him the first month?
Because I was in the middle of looking for a job, Your Honor. Not to mention I was only 16 at the time. So, we made the agreement, I guess just me being young and dumb, not paying attention.
No, you're not too young and dumb, and you stayed in school long enough to know that this is an unenforceable contract because, as you just said, you were underage. She went to high school long enough to learn that.
So, yeah, it was just bad.
You just don't think you should keep your word regardless of your age?
I mean, not when you call somebody out their name and, disrespectful, start stuff at family gatherings in front of my little sisters, My little sisters look up to me and I try to be the best role model I can for them, But he started last July when, 4th of July, we had a family gathering at my grandmother's house.
Mm-hmm.
He came at me about the car. I was like, maybe we shouldn't do this here, family here, a whole bunch of family, I have a big family. He started calling me out my name, yelling at me. It got to the point I threw food in his face, barbecue sauce, a whole bunch of stuff.
Okay.
But I feel as though I was young. I was 16.
So essentially, he got upset when he asked for his money.
Yes, but.
All right, so you should have told him, don't you never ask me. Go ahead and tell him, don't you never ask me for money. Never. I owe you no more. I'll throw some, what'd you throw in his face?
Barbecue sauce.
I'll throw some barbecue sauce in your face if you ever ask me for the money I owe you. What else did you do to him?
I threw potato salad.
Potato salad? Barbecue sauce? Now ask me one more time. You'll get these chitlins. You'll be wearing them. You'll walk out here looking like a whole soul food dinner.
It was just pretty bad,
See what I see? That's what happens when you all don't get a person counseling who needs it. You didn't think about that after that picnic. You still didn't think about no counseling.
It's not
She
true.
said, "Oh no, my baby needs some counseling here now."
No, Your Honor, I understand what you're saying. I mean, I'm a great father. My son is a first responder. You know, I have no problem raising my son. But you know, I did everything that I felt that I could for her.
Let me just say this. Linda and I raised our niece about 80% of her life and in home. And there were a lot of challenges involved with that, but we had to step up and meet them. All right, and that's what you have to do when you see a child, particularly if you can help. If you're capable of helping, that's the obligation that you have to a younger child, your sister's daughter. That's the obligation you have, sir, and that's how we have to look at it. And I'm not going to get personal about my niece's life, but the point is that we had some challenges and we overcame them, and she's a very successful young lady. So I say that to say that's how you have to look at things, and viewers who are watching. That's how you have to look at it. It's an obligation of yours if you are capable. All right? In the meantime, she went to school long enough. Like she said, this contract is unenforceable because she was a minor. Adults can't make contracts with minors. How old are you now?
19.
All right, now this is the only exception. Do you agree you want to pay him now?
Yes.
All right. See, you better be glad. You better be glad. Because what she just did is reaffirm that unenforceable contract. She renewed it as an adult. Now you got a valid contract, and so it's a judgment for you. Have a good day. Right. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I think it'll make it, you know, better now that things are settled.
Definitely. I agree. I also agree. I was willing to settle this and, you know, be able to have a peaceful environment in my environment.
I thought everything the judge said was really great and gave me a lot to think about as far as, you know, trying to help her more with counseling and things.